Hi, this is Microdose U, and I'm Dr. Denise. I'm a doctor of psychology. I got a fantastic question, and this issue comes up a lot. The comment in the question was, don't I need to do higher doses for psychedelics to help, to heal physical and psychological issues? The assumption that more is better, that if I'm going to use psychedelics to heal physical and psychological emotional issues, that more is better. And it's just not true. You do not ever need to do a higher dose. And in fact, it is often contraindicated. So if it's not needed and there's problems and contraindications for doing higher doses, we're talking macro doses. If it's not necessary and it can be a problem, it's actually the opposite. You do not need to do a macrodose. So this is one of those myths. This is one of those commonly held false beliefs and ideas that's kind of circling around. You can even come across this in literature. There's articles written about this. Lots of people believe that, and it is just simply not true. Again, I'll repeat it. You never have to do a macrodose to heal of psilocybin, magic mushrooms, or LSD. Those are the two we're talking about here today. So, what exactly is that? Most people know at this point that a microdose of a psychedelic is anywhere like a tenth to a 20th of what a full macrodose would be. So, when we talk about magic mushrooms and we say something like 100 milligrams, do the math, you're talking about many grams, 2+ grams to get into that macro dose arena. And people are usually talking about where it's that trippy dose, which is that expression that we all hear from back, the idea that hippies were tripping kind of idea. So also not, yes, people were doing that, but the idea that it was harmful, that it was a problem, that it was hippies that are doing that, and all these decades later that it's still a problem because it's associated with the trippy hippie days. It's just not true. It's not dangerous. It's not addictive. And in fact, most people that are using psychedelics are not using them recreational to trip and have fun. Yes, some people are still doing that. And yet that is not what we're seeing. That is not people just being free and like hippie days again. That is not what's going on. Most people, far majority, overwhelming majority, are using psychedelics to feel better, to heal things like resistant treatment depression. In other words, depression that no matter what anybody's doing, it's not helping. They've tried all different kinds of antidepressants, the full range. I mean, there's so many different medications for depression, for anxiety, and that despite all the medications, it's not any better. So people are coming up with like, no matter what I do, the depression's not getting better. That's what we mean by treatment resistant depression. What we are finding out is that psychedelics actually do, in fact, not only help on the day, but they're resolving. Again, we're rewiring and truly getting to the root cause and healing. So back to the macrodose. To do a macrodose of, say, LSD, a microdose is 10, now we're talking micrograms, as heard me say and Dr. Dave say, we're talking about a tiny speck of medication. So 10 micrograms, again, psilocybin, we're talking milligrams. With LSD, we're talking a tiny speck. 10 micrograms is often what people will do. Sometimes 20. On occasion, some people maybe go up to 30 micrograms. Again, you would have to do all the way up to about 20 of those microgram sprayers, 10 in each spray. So you'd have to do about 20 of those doses to get up to that trippy kind of dose, which is not going to just accidentally happen. People will start microdosing and they'll be very concerned, understandably so. What's going to happen? I'm taking a psychedelic, and the idea is like, I don't want to trip. And you start out with the tiniest amount and you're going to stay in microdosing. You're kind of like all the way over here. And to start having psychedelic experiences, you're so, so far away. The percentage with the micrograms with LSD, obviously you're talking about a speck. So, little tiny speck, a few more specks is a lot compared to when we're dealing with the milligrams in psilocybin. Again, though, you're not going to accidentally take too much LSD. You do a spray or two, and there you go. You'd have to do, like I said, 10, 20 times that to be anywhere near what is called the macrodose. So, the microdosing, if you look up how effective is microdosing, you look up some of the actual studies, the research. We're talking about various researchers, different organizations that are running research around our planet. Oftentimes, those controlled studies, they're in a lab and they're really working with variables. Those are often higher doses. Sometimes they're like extracted, sometimes they're synthetic, and it's a higher dose. And they will give doses to the subjects in the study and one time, and then maybe a few weeks later another time, and they'll follow them up. So there are effective results from those studies. And yet here's the thing. If you just look at that, you'd say, oh, well, I have to take this high dose to have that effect. The problem is it's actually not true because there aren't the real studies. There's more studies that have the higher doses. First of all, there's not a lot of studies anyway. I mean, we know that those are increasing now, given that psychedelics are having such a really just life-changing medical treatment system changing effect for so many psychological and physical health problems. So the research is really just growing and growing. It's harder to really do the research with the microdose because people are doing that regularly. You can't like sort of have someone sit in a lab, come to a lab every time they're going to microdose. And again, there was lots of research about the microdosing. There's just more about the macrodosing. So people have made come to the incorrect conclusion that, oh, these are the doses that the research is doing, so I must need to do that. And again, that's just not true. We're not seeing the data in the labs as much on microdosing. Now, let me switch to what I frequently talk about, which is the real world data. If you have hundreds of thousands of people reporting, I do 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams of psilocybin a few times a week, I feel better, which is almost always the case. This is not even like a one-off little mild trend. It is almost always the case. So if you're seeing that, and I just said 100,000 people, that's a real effect. That is not a placebo effect. And even though it is not in a lab and controlled, that is an undeniable effect out in the real world. So that's why we pay attention to that. Same thing with LSD. If somebody says, oh, my attention and focus is so much better after doing 10 or 20 micrograms once or twice a week of LSD, and oh, guess what? I don't have to take my ADHD medication. I don't have to take my anxiety medication. This is like better, and it stays better. And hundreds of people that I've worked with now at this point here at Microdose U, and lots of people that are out there, of course, all the conversations and research, I'm always paying attention to that. It is a consistent effect. So these are microdoses. We're going to take a little break and I'll be right back. I wanted to share with you a message from one of our Patreon members.
I just wanted to say that I love Microdose U. My name's Holly. I've been a member of Patreon now for 6, 7+ months, somewhere around there. And I've been microdosing myself for about 2.5, almost 3 years. And on a whim, I thought, you know what? It's only $12.50 a month. So why don't I just give this a whirl and see what it has in store? Really, I didn't have any expectations going into this Patreon group, but after being in the group for really a short period of time, it's really transformed everything for me. It's helped so much in my life and just making connections with others. We do have the live meetings and just getting to know others who may be in a similar boat, and a lot of us are. It has been very transforming. When I had joined, I think subconsciously I was looking looking for some sort of community or at least a group of folks to chat about microdosing and psilocybin and life and all of that. And that was one of the other missing pieces in my life. Now, I had mentioned to a few others, friends, maybe family about microdosing, but there was only a certain conversations we could have around that. And I really wasn't able to get into depth with friends and family about that. But with this group, it's another story, which is great. So we have a wonderful community, so much information, and even more than I had expected or even had hoped for. So I encourage you to look into it further. You never know what you don't know until you know, and just checking it out and seeing what it has to offer.
I hope you enjoyed what Holly had to say and that you might want to really check out the Patreon group. The link is always in the show notes. I think you'll really love it and join the community, and we'll see you over there. So again, the macrodoses are not necessary. I always say like more for my money. Like why would I take a higher dose if it's not going to get me anything extra? And it could be, often is, a problem, a contraindication. And let me explain what I mean by that. Oftentimes a macrodose, again, those higher trippy doses are a contraindication, not only maybe not helpful, but a problem. And here's a couple of reasons. If you are someone that has very high anxiety, even mild anxiety, if there's trauma, oftentimes, doing higher doses can increase the anxiety and really, in a macrodose, make for a very unpleasant experience. So I will say that if you are someone who is planning on macrodosing, if you are thinking, I want to do that, I just want to see what it's like, maybe it'll be fun, maybe it'll heal something, it is really important to prepare and to have someone with you that's not doing the same thing. Somebody who's experienced, understands what a macrodose experience is like. They say like a trip sitter is the expression. Someone that's on hand. Then maybe they don't have to sit right there with you, but they check in with you. I would say it's nice to kind of have someone right there, particularly if you start to lose perspective and feel more and more anxious. A person that is aware and knows how to respond to that will anchor you back and help ground you so that you don't completely have a terrible experience macrodosing with anxiety or some really deep revisiting of trauma. You don't want to be re-traumatized. So people that have severe trauma, even moderate trauma, anxiety, it can be contraindicated. And again, not necessary. If that was the only way you could heal, people would be like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'll go for it. It's just the only way it's going to work. It's not. Microdosing will absolutely help you and not hurt you, and you will not have the intense anxiety and trauma, sort of coming across that and experiencing the trauma. Again, if you're macrodosing, you might get a little confused as to what's actually happening. You might be having like visual images that could bring you right to that trauma. And you don't need to re-experience trauma, by the way, to heal trauma. Decades ago, they used to say that when psychiatrically treating trauma meant you had to go back and kind of talk about the trauma. And I can tell you, as a doctor of psychology that has worked for 40 years doing this, that you do not. You do not ever have to re-experience. Actually, it's very helpful not to, and to have that distant perspective that happened some other time and that you're in a different place. So it's contraindicated, especially in a macrodose situation. A couple of the reasons it might be a problem. The higher the dose of a psychedelic, the more, if there's an increase in blood pressure, heart rate, any issues concerning your physiological functioning, it's going to be more. With microdosing, it's not going to be as much. It is true that that is a proportional equation that we see. So if someone's taking 100, 200 micrograms of LSD, that increased amount of LSD in their system is going to potentially increase the heart rate and the blood pressure more than a microdose. So the risk of having, again, I'm not saying it's dangerous. I'm saying that it might not, especially if you have blood pressure issues. Why would you take a macrodose if you can heal at the microdose level, particularly if you're someone who's on blood pressure medication, have blood pressure issues? It is absolutely contraindicated to do a macrodose of psilocybin, macrodose of LSD, because your blood pressure is going to increase more. Your heart rate's going to increase more. It's temporary, but you're increasing it. And there's no, like I'm saying, there's no benefit. You don't need to do that. So while it might be safe and temporary, why put yourself through that? And certainly not on a regular basis. The final sort of part of this is, as we know, when you microdose, it's sort of, people say sub-perceptible, and I always kind of I like what the other word, which is more sub-intoxicating. You may feel at a microdose, and I personally, I like to feel that lift. I like to feel the microdose a little, and yet I want to go about my business. I want to drive to the store. I want to work. I want to do what I'm doing so that I can go about my business. With a macrodose, you are not going about your business. So it's not necessarily dangerous. It just might be inconvenient. It's, you have to set aside a day at least for macrodosing psilocybin, because you're talking about a trip with a macrodose of psilocybin. You're talking about a day, right? You're talking about like 6, 8 hours. You cannot be driving. You cannot be working. You cannot be doing anything else. You might be able to go for a walk and a hike and enjoy all kinds of things, but you absolutely would not be working or driving and going about your normal business when you're doing a macrodose of psilocybin. And the same thing for LSD. And here's the other thing about LSD, it's even longer. So we're talking about, 8, 10, 12 hours. So that may be fine. I'm not saying it's contraindicated and dangerous. I'm saying that it's kind of to me, it's a contraindication of that I would have to set a whole day aside. And maybe, the advantage of microdosing is that you don't have to set the time aside. You will definitely set your intentions, make sure you're hydrated, taking good care of yourself, and perhaps going for a walk. You might decide, I don't want to microdose on days that I may be in a meeting or busy, even though you can. Some people prefer not to, but you can. Macrodosing, it is absolutely not a good idea to try to go about your normal business, and absolutely not drive or do anything that requires operating heavy machinery, as the warnings always say. So I hope that that helps. It's really important that you understand that everyone's different. And so if you hear someone saying, "Oh, I had the best time, I macrodosed, I feel like everything just got so clear," that's not a problem. It just may be different for you. So it is really individual. And I have known many people that have macrodosed, and it's absolutely been helpful and perfect for them. And yet, what I'm saying is it's not necessary to heal. And the other thought I want to just mention is, if there is a condition with, particularly with women, if you've seen some of my past podcasts on women using microdosing to deal with hormonal shifts and specific issues of that nature, macrodosing isn't going to really help. So it's not that it's contraindicated, it's just not going to address say the perimenopause, menopause issues, or if you're a younger woman and you have PMS, premenstrual syndrome, macrodosing is really not going to help that. It might in the day, but it's not going to address the regulating of some of the hormonal issues. So it's not that it's contraindicated, it's just not going to be helpful. So I'll tell women that are in perimenopause and menopause that it's the regular dosing, microdosing, that's really going to make the difference. And for younger women that have maybe that PMS, to kind of cyclical, use microdosing at various points in their cycle throughout the month. Again, macrodosing is not going to help with that. So I hope that helps and clears up some of those questions and myths. And please, respond to this podcast episode, you can always message me and comment right in the podcast episode. You can certainly go on Patreon and message us there. Many of you do that. Any way that you want to reach out to us here at Microdose. Thank you.